Guys, this is going to be one of those, I don't want to say controversial, but I just, it's kind of pretty intense, okay, what I've read here. So this guy called Claude Taylor, he has this Twitter account that has a lot of rumors, a lot of interesting information sometimes. We don't know if it's true, okay? So this thing that he said reminds me, I think I've seen it before, where the Saudis, there was something related to the Iran deal and they got money. I remember I looked into the Iran deal and there was some money involved. And I also remember that Jared did get money from the Saudis. So I'm wondering if this is it. So my question is, I'm going to read guys what he wrote here and then I want to ask about, is it true? What part of it is true, and if is it true or not, right? If it's not true, then it's never mind. But I want to know what's true about this. So here's what I've been told. Trump and some adult family negotiated a deal with the Saudis and the Emiratis for 3.6 billion to get rid of Iran nuclear deal and reimpose sanctions. The payment was made in two installments, the first last year and the second earlier in 2018. So I'm just going to ask for information on this. Is this true? Have they paid? Because that would make a big difference, okay? And then if you click on the thread, I'm not going to do it. You can look him up and find this information. It said something like they have evidence. He said that he knows Mueller has evidence of this in different, he doesn't know exactly in what form the evidence comes, but he has evidence. So I'd like to know, is this true? Okay. So, and if it's true, are they gonna get them? Like, are we gonna take their money? You know what I mean? In the sense that this is illegal money. Is the government gonna take this illegal money? Because it would be so unfair. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here and ask the question. So, guys, you saw the introduction. Okay, so I'm gonna click here just to make sure I have the image. So Claude Taylor made this statement that he knows that intelligence agencies have this information, okay, that says the Trump and family negotiated a deal with Saudis to drop the Iran nuclear deal and reimpose sanctions. Is this true? Have the Saudis reached a deal with the Trump family, via Kushner or whoever? And if so, have they paid them? And is there evidence? So tell me what happened here. Okay, guys, so the answer I believe is yes. Okay, and I'll tell you why. So, So it's showing that from the Saudis' perspective, it's cheap. They have a lot of money, and if they could somehow um, undermine Iran, because the whole, and I was somebody else explained this to me, that the whole thing with Saudi Arabia is that they want to minimize the importance of Iran. Okay, because Iran is a very powerful country in the Middle East, and I know people. There's all these like a lot of negative things that are said about Iran. I'm not saying that they're like great place that you can walk around with normal clothes or anything, but I guess what I'm saying is I'm not judging, but I know that Iran, for example, is the one country that supports the Palestinians. Okay, so for that, I feel like they they have respect. Okay, let's just say it like that. And the Saudis, they want to, like I said, undermine Iran. They don't mind negotiating with the Israelis. Okay, and they want to have more power. They want to shift. It's showing that they kind of want to shift the balance of power over there. So to them that's cheap. Okay, so it showed they said yes. So then how it happened, I feel like this whole thing happened before, in the sense of like as the election was happening, the possibility that they could somehow not have the U.S. This is showing part of the agreement is not having the U.S. The U.S. quote unquote medal over there, and that it's kind of like it shows that they would build a bridge over Iran. I think that in the sense that I see the Iranians like kind of looking like, I feel like Iranians, A, they heard that they know this is going on, and B, they're kind of pretending they like this sleeping a lion or something. They know what's happening and don't want to move because they feel like the thing is what's happening now is maybe an illusion. They let them kind of have their, because they know they're aware of how volatile this whole thing is over there. Okay, so they feel like they look at MBS, they're like, that guy, he's so inexperienced, he's gonna run into his own problems later. And I feel like that's one. Okay, that's one thing. Now the second thing is that, like I said, there's a camaraderie between the Saudis and the Russians, and they are part of this crew that wants to change the balance of power in the world. Okay, and then that's one thing. So then, in terms of how the money was paid, it showed, and then it took me to what's his name, George Nader. He's the guy who Mueller got to collaborate. Got him into some airport, and he was there in all those Seychelles meetings. And I think he was working for Qatar. I don't remember which country he was working for, but somehow I feel like he has expertise in create. This is what it showed how the money was sent. Okay, so they both sides created what would be the equivalent of LLCs, or these. It's like I've seen this in a different reading before. That once I saw this in this reading related to Trump's CFO. Okay, that they create these vehicles that are kind of like, in the story, it would be like ships. Okay, so if you want to move money from one place to the other, you have to create these ships, and the ships are these entities that are independent. So there would be something like an LLC. So they separate them. It's like, imagine if you have, it's like you have a sandwich, like a grilled cheese sandwich, and you cut it in a tiny, tiny little parts. And you put the, it's like, it's kind of like that. You take the money, let's say it said, whatever it said, however billions, let's say 3 billion, I say 3 billion. So they're going to create like literally 700 accounts that are different entities, different countries. They're going to receive. It's kind of like also like a battery. Okay, so there has to be the negative and the positive, in the sense that there has to be a place where it's coming, another place where it's going to, and there has to be a corresponding account for each one. They try to not make it very obvious. Okay, and then that's kind of how it transfers in that way. So there's a lot of different layers, and so it goes. Oh my God, guys, you're gonna be like, oh, shocking. So it shows that all this money goes into Jared's building. You know how the building was sold or something, or like they refinanced the building. It's like it was almost exactly this, guys. 1 point something billion, right? 1.8 billion. If you split the 3 billion by 2, so maybe half of it went to Trump, half of it to Kushner. I don't know. So what it's showing is that all these like little boats, Think about it. Like all the boats, the 700 boats or whatever. The 700 is just a random number. I'm just saying all the boats, they went in the direction of Kushner family's building. And it showed that the feds are aware of it and they're monitoring this. And for them, it's important that they let the money travel and they actually want the deal to be signed because that would be in itself evidence. And they're going to just take it all. Okay. They're going to appropriate that. It's like money laundering money. Okay. So it's fake, because it's like they sold the country, they sold foreign policy for this. And so in terms of what evidence exists, it said that there's recordings. Nader made recordings. I don't know. I was trying to see if there's some sort of contract where it says, "Oh, please, we give you 3.6 billion, and you give us a foreign policy." No, I don't think it's like there's a law firm that's gonna, oh, really? Here is a contract. I think it's, you know what I mean? It's, I don't know. There's maybe coded ways, but I don't know that there is an actual document. Like I said, there are multiple recordings. From several countries have these recordings, by the way, not just the U.S. via Jared Nader and others. I feel like there's multiple parts of these conversations in different countries, and I think, yeah, like I said, I feel like, it's giving me another image that this reminds me of. When you're traveling, you look outside your airplane and there's shipping containers. Or like if you've ever drove by some place that has a port and there's all these cargo ships. It's like kind of like, it's similar like that. So it's like, for example, because it's now showing me Ivanka and Jared. So we know how like they supposedly made 30 plus million last year. And the year before they were heavily in debt. So it shows that it's like they can activate a shipping container if they needed the money. So it's split into several like hundreds of small parts, and it's not in one. Like I said, it's not in one place. It's in all kinds of different places, and that's how this was. This was sent over. Okay, so like I said before, guys, there was what was I saying about this? Oh, I think I did a reading very quickly about the Muslim ban before. And it and I don't think haven't made it public? No, I have not made it public because I feel like then when I start the immigration question, it's such a huge topic that I feel like I want to do all of it before I make it public. But it showed that this, once this whole thing becomes exposed, it's going to create a very difficult situation for the Saudis, okay, in terms of their businesses here, and I don't want to get into this. It's like, I need to be focused on this one question, but as you probably know, the Saudis are also very involved in technology investments. So I don't know how this is going to play out, okay, but there's going to be kind of like a reality check over there, okay, for that guy. And I think, it's like, it's not, I don't want to, I need to do a reading at some point. I don't have right now on the future of Saudi Arabia and MBS and so forth, but I just feel like the countries over there in the Middle East are very, I know it sounds crazy to say this, but I feel like they're wise, okay? They've had years and decades and centuries even of a lot of conflict. So they're not intimidated by some kid with like, some younger kid who's like, oh, I'm gonna fix it, change it, do it what I want. They're like, wait and see, kind of very different because it's showing that it's very volatile, like I said. So there's a whole other, something else is going to emerge once, like I said, but one thing that is important as a consequence of this whole thing with Trump is that it created some animosity situations with the countries in the Middle East among themselves, okay, because they know the whole thing with Saudi Arabia rubbed people the wrong way, but I kind of feel like they knew that this may not last, or they were waiting to see, okay? So this is what I think, okay? And that's that, okay? So that's it, guys, for now. I know it sounds kind of crazy because I always wanted to know, actually, if there was some cash exchange, some money had exchanged hands, but I feel like they got more money from the Saudis than the Russians. And I have to look for. There was one time when I did a reading a long time ago about Jared and the several countries they was accused of doing business with, and Saudi Arabia was one of them. And if I recall correctly, I feel like that was the country that really created trouble for Jared in terms of they found money more than in other countries. So that's that, guys. But anyway, like I said, there's so many issues that are connected to this that I don't want to make this into a huge complicated reading. I just wanted to really understand this. Okay, so yeah, this is one of the elements that are going to create Jared's downfall, right? Because this is very serious. But he's done more than this. Oh really? Oh. So that's that, guys. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. Bye.